This is the Truth Network.
The heart of every man craves a great adventure, but life doesn't usually feel that way. Jesus speaks of narrow gates and wide roads, but the masculine journey is filled with many twists and turns. So how do we keep from losing heart while trying to find the good way when life feels more like a losing battle than something worth dying for? Grab your gear and come on a quest with your band of brothers who will serve as the guides in what we call the masculine journey. The masculine journey starts here now.
Welcome to Masculine Journey. We are in 2025. That's crazy.
Not yet.
Well, yeah, it is. It is. It's 2025 as this show airs. So, yes, it is. So, it's crazy that 2024 has already come and gone. Isn't that nuts?
That is really nuts.
Yeah. You know, it's... I know they say time goes faster the older you get. I wish Harold was here so we could really see how quick it goes.
Well, it goes quicker. I am blown away.
Yeah.
Because as I was telling you before the show, in 2025 I'm going to turn 70. You know that, and I was thinking about it when I was a kid. You know, I thought, wow, in 2025 I'll be 70. Like, and then now here I am. Oh man, it was just a moment ago.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and you know, I used to. Maybe it's pessimism setting in. I don't know. I used to always look forward to the new year and the new opportunities, and then I realized it's just Wednesday to Thursday. And most of my problems Wednesday are still going to be there Thursday, you know, and most of the challenges. But it's not a reason to be pessimistic. It is a reason to be optimistic. There's newness in the air.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as a part of that, part of how you can know there's new things that are going to happen that are going to be kind of cool is revisiting old things that's happened. And so part of our topic for today is what is our favorite memory of the ones that are here today with us of 2024 in regards to the masculine journey. That can be boot camp related. It can be radio show related. It could just be your personal masculine journey that God takes you on. But what's some of your favorite memory? What's your favorite memory or favorite memories of the year? And so it's always good to kind of look back and see what God's been doing.
Yeah, I like to take my camera roll. You know, I did that, you know, over the last few days and look back to see what God did, and it blows my mind that all the cool, really cool things that I got to do last year, got to take part in, and of course. You know, this is a big part of my life always, and the friends that we have here in the band Brothers. But it's really a treasure. And, you know, as you were thinking about it, the masculine journey, one of my favorite memories of the masculine journey in 2024, it's going to sound a bit feminine, but it's when one of you guys kissed me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
Yeah.
It was Derek, because I was telling him how, you know, I always kind of struggle with that idea of, you know, kiss the son lest he be, you know, this idea of a holy kiss. Exactly what is that? And about that time, he just puckers up and slaps. And I mean, I will never, ever, as long as I ever live, forget that. But the funny thing is since that happened, you know, it's not unusual for me to just reach over and, you know, when we hug, just kiss him on the neck or whatever. And it really isn't as horrible as it sounds.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's part of the masculine journey is
that according to Tammy?
I'm good with a holy handshake. just say it, or holy hug would be good for me.
Well, you might need a Terry initiation, just saying.
Yeah.
I put you on his list.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Well, kind of
your
he's not
kiss
here
is
this,
on my list.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
glad he's not here this evening or this afternoon to really hear this. So kind of go from there. But yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about. And there's lots of really cool stories from the last year. You know, we've had a couple boot camps, which we do every year. And each one, even though we have the same topics we go through, you know, it's the same basic talks, you know, at every boot camp, none of them are the same.
Never.
They never are. The people are different. God's doing something different. The warfare is different at each camp. You know,
food's different.
Food's different, right? You know, you would think that it would be the same, but it's not. It's completely different every single time. They're each very unique. You're welcome.
Very unique.
Very unique, yeah.
Yeah, so Danny, you have the first clip of this show, so if you want to tell us a little bit about
Of
it. or play it.
2025.
That would make the
Yeah.
first clip of
That's
the year.
quite an honor to
Wow.
be number one, the first show of the year.
I may need to rethink that.
I may need a plaque.
It
for
just
this.
makes sense.
I may need a better clip.
We may need we may need a plaque to commemorate this or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
That would be my memory for next year when we do this show.
Well, Terry will be here next week. We'll celebrate with a kiss with you.
Oh,
In 2050,
yeah. So my clip is from Secondhand Lions, and it's called The Speech, and it's where Hub gives Walter a piece of a speech that he talks about. I don't know that in the movie did he ever give the whole speech, but there's a part of the speech that and he's I'm looking for a word. I'm not going to find it, but he's imparting truth to this young boy. Mm-hmm. And, because Hub's an older man and he's, been through some stuff, and they have an interchange there. And, the statements that he makes just kind of sum up a lot of my year this year. And so we can play the clip when we talk about it on the backside.
All right, we'll play.
you cold, son? You better hear. You better go inside. Boy, yeah. Boy.
Those stories about Africa. About you. They're true, aren't they?
Doesn't matter.
It does too. Around my mom, all I hear is lies. I don't know what to believe in.
Damn, if you want to believe in something, then believe in it. Just because something isn't true, that's no reason you can't believe in it. The long speech I give the young man sounds like you need to hear a piece of it. Just a piece. Sometimes, the things that may or may not be true are the things that a man needs to believe in the most. That people are basically good. That honor, courage, and virtue mean everything. That power and money and power mean nothing. That good always triumphs over evil. And I want you to remember this, that love true love never dies. You remember that, boy. You remember that. Doesn't matter if it's true or not, you see. A man should believe in those things because those are the things worth believing in. Got that?
That was a good speech.
Think so? Thanks.
Yeah, I heard a pretty good sermon yesterday, and the words water and seeds and fruit came out a whole lot. And I just happened to be sitting here thinking about that. But the Hub is talking about the truth and the things you believe in. And it's in the fiery trials of life, I think, that we come across, and you really do define what you truly believe. Because there's a head knowledge of stuff, and then there's that heart knowledge of stuff you walked out. And one of the great overarching memories, I guess, of this year, and since I've been with you guys too, is that knowing that, the stories that we tell, from the podium at boot camp or here on the radio or at an entrenchment or something are true stories, like Hub stories that we've been through, and some of them aren't glamorous. He had just told, because Walter asked him what happened to Jasmine, the woman that he loved, and he said she died in childbirth, and he lived that, and then he went back into doing what Hub did, and which was fight very well apparently, but to say all that is we started this year pretty early on at an entrenchment at Robbie's church. And met some people there, and now we're kind of, Michelle and I are kind of involved there some, but meeting new people all throughout, boot camps and seeing people that you've known for several years now. And, my friend Tony comes to boot camps, and he and I go back long before I met you guys. And he was part of our ministry in Asheboro. But hearing the stories and getting to know people and knowing that true love really never dies. People can make your life hard for them to love. But if you truly love them, you should be all in, as we were talking about in the pre-show. And, I've had several incidences with family members this year that it's been tough to love them. But I've ultimately, what God has taught me is I've just commanded you to love them. Doesn't matter how they react. Doesn't matter if you get anything back. Doesn't matter. You just need to love them. And in that, there have been some awesome memories, some tough memories. But overall, what it's taught me is that true love never does fail. And I've said it on here before. My wife says that's how she knows God is real, because God is love. And love never dies, because God never dies. And so to love on people and to get to love on people at the capacity that we do on so many different levels, and, the laughter and the fun. But yet when the rubber meets the road and the fire's on, you got people around you that love you. They may even kiss you on the neck or whatever, but that kind of thing. But that to me, that kind of summed up, especially 2024, and probably going to be more so 2025. But that's just, to me, to know that I can love people from a different level. I guess that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. One thing I like from the clip was you said that was a very good speech.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying, but a speech.
Yeah.
Pre-thought.
Yeah, it's something that he lives and believes and practices. Right?
Yeah, it's fundamental to who Hub became, right? Which was, the thing I love about that speech is, Walter is trying to get Hub to be his uncle.
Yeah.
And Hub is his uncle, but I don't know that Hub has ever accepted that role completely. And in that intimate moment that they share right there, that happens. On the other side of that discussion, when Hub offers that, he becomes his uncle. And, think how many conversations you've had with people that at that moment, whether you know it or not, you became their uncle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're getting ready to go into break. As we come out of break, we'll continue to talk about this topic. Go to masculinejourney.org. If you want to reach out to any of us, our first name at masculinejourney.org is our email. We'll talk with you after the break.
What we have at our boot camp is something that makes you stronger and gives you the strength to go on your regular walk with God. It's something that will make you be bigger than you were when you got there.
The first one, I had no clue what I was walking into, and then realizing that other people are in the same boat and, how open everybody was to share their struggle. It was a great group, and a lot of unpacking was able to be done.
It is a tight bond of men. Everybody's the same. And each and every time that I've come to boot camp, I've learned something different. And not one man that's ever been there neglects not to take time out to talk or to share. It's serious business, and you need to come one time to break bread with the men and fellowship. Feel the atmosphere. Hear the people pray and get down to earth about what's going on in life and get real.
Register today at masculinejourney.org.
Gonna have some good times with good friends, making good memories. A little bit of sunshine and good vibes, yeah, that's all we need. And we ain't gonna worry, ain't in a hurry. Everything is going our way. We're gonna have some good times with good friends, making good memories.
Welcome back to Masculine Journey. We are talking about good times with good friends and good memories. And so that's Cochran and Company is the name of that artist that did that song. I had not heard of it till I found it the other day on YouTube. And I really enjoyed it. I actually downloaded a couple of their albums, and it's a Christian band. That's not necessarily it's more of a secular song, that one, or Christian, either way. Doesn't mention God straight up in it, but it's kind of hard to have good times with good friends and good memories without God being involved in there somehow. And so,
apart from me, you can do what?
Yeah, exactly. Nothing. So God's written in there whether they mention him or not, but he's
good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Good. So I want to go back to your clip for just a second, because as I was listening to it, I've heard that clip several times. We use it at boot camp and things. When he says, if you want to believe in something, believe in it. And we're at that time of the year where we're doing words of the year again. We're praying for those, and God's given me mine, and I'm looking forward to it when we do that show. But one of the first words that he gave me, I don't think it's the one I had to repeat. He held me back a year for my next word. Yeah, I didn't get to advance into the next grade, but one of the words was believe. It was one of the very first words he gave me, and it may have been that one I had to repeat. Because really, if you don't understand what you truly believe, it's hard to really build on that, right? Because everything comes out of that, comes out of your beliefs. Like, do I really believe God is good? Right? I can't just walk the fence on that. I believe He's good, or I don't. There's some things that get questioned, and so just really the good fundamental thing is, what is it that I believe? What do I believe about God? What do I believe about my heart? What do I believe about these things, and it's a game changer for you.
No, completely.
But it's what Jesus said, out of the heart, the mouth speaks.
Yeah.
And if you stay around somebody, like Robbie made the point, the Hub, you knew this is what he believed, because this is how he acted upon it. Because your actions will follow what you believe. Your mouth will deceive you and deceive others. But when you truly believe that if I love people no matter what, and I do it, then you do it no matter what, and you know that God's going to honor that some way, shape, fashion. For it may not be like I wanted to plan, rarely ever is. That's why I'm not God, thank goodness. But that's the reality of it, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
It's called faith.
Oh yeah,
yes.
That was my second word, actually. He gave me faith right after believe. Those are my first couple words. But anyway, we're on to the next clip, Robbie, and so that would be you. Do you want to set it up a little bit?
I do. So this is from a movie that I use clips out of all the time. A river runs through it because it has fishing, and I love fishing, and there's so much about the Trinity because it's a father and two sons. And in this particular clip, the movie is, if you ever watch it, will reach out and hurt you. Because one of the heroes in the movie, Paul, the younger brother, dies. And, of course, the father's heartbroken like you would be if you lost a child. And in this movie, there's this clip, and I actually went looking for, because anybody that knows me well and that's in this circle knows that my favorite memory always of boot camp is going to be, at night, when we meet together to pray over the cards. We have men fill out prayer cards. And so every night before we go to bed, we meet over those cards and we talk. But it becomes like heaven to me. And I couldn't feel more loved, and I couldn't feel more accepted just to be Weird Robbie. Whatever it is that I am, at my core, I can just totally be myself around these guys and just feel like I'm just totally loved and tell all the dirty laundry of what I'm going through in my life or whatever. But the neat thing is that a lot of times it's not till boot camp I really hear, oh man, Andy's going through this, or Danny's going through that, whatever it is. But at boot camp, because the setting is so intimate and we've worked so hard together, and here we are at a time of prayer. And so there we are with God and each other, and it feels like heaven to me. And so I went looking for a clip of love and acceptance. And what I got was this, which talked about the father asking the son, did he tell me everything? Because the brother had died. Paul had died. And the father's wanting to know this. But I was blown away by his sermon that he preached on the subject. And I think you might be too, if you play it.
Yep.
As time passed, my father struggled for more to hold on to, asking me again and again had I told him everything. And finally, I said to him, maybe all I really know about Paul is that he was a fine fisherman. You know more than that, my father said. He was beautiful. And that was the last time we ever spoke of my brother's death. Indirectly, though, Paul was always present in my father's thoughts. I remember the last sermon I heard him give, not long before his own death.
Each one of us here today will, at one time in our lives, look upon a loved one who is in need and ask the same question. We are willing to help, Lord, but what, if anything, is needed? For it is true we can seldom help those closest to us. Either we don't know what part of ourselves to give, or more often than not, the part we have to give is not wanted. And so it is those we live with and should know who elude us. But we can still love them. We can love completely without complete understanding.
You know, that just, it's such a beautiful thought that, I mean, if you're like me or anybody else, imagine that what he said is so true. The people that we know the best, quite often, we don't know how to help. We don't have the words. We don't have, and what we do have is not necessarily wanted. However, as Danny pointed out, or and Hub pointed out, and certainly the Bible in 1 Corinthians 13 points out, love never fails. It just doesn't. And so as we love completely, then we can see what the brother failed to see in Paul. And the more I've listened to that clip, I listened to it about 4 times before I actually got it, that no, you didn't tell me everything because Paul was beautiful. You missed out on the glory of God inside of that person, in spite of what their behavior may be, in spite of what all happens. And I heard recently, and I love this, and I just keep repeating it to myself, that, you know, often the people that need to be loved the most are the people who deserve it the least. And that's so true in our families. It's unbelievable, right? Especially we just went through the holidays, like, wow. And, you know, we feel this in so many different ways, but it's fascinating to me when I think back at boot camp of being in a setting where we really see that kind of love and acceptance, not only for each other, but again, a lot of times there'll be prayer cards with some pretty tough stuff, right? That you're like, whoa, you know? But those are the ones that were honest.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the ones who really trusted us.
Right.
Those were the needy out loud. And, you know, we're so grateful for that opportunity to pray into that.
Yeah, that use the words I was going to use, needy out loud, because you were the first one that I remember in a while to kind of just break that seal with the group. You know, we do try to be very transparent as brothers, but I think as any person, there's some things you just go, well, I'm kind of working on that. I'm just going to hold that back for myself, or I'm a little embarrassed to talk about this, or, you know, whatever the case may be. Or I read some of these cards and they had some real issues. You know, this isn't that big a deal. You know, all the things that the enemy tries to get you to minimize it, to hide it, to shove it back down. I remember the boot camp where you passed out the cards and you said, you know, we're going to be needy out loud. And you led that charge with our group. You know, and we've seen us all respond at different camps, you know, where God will just lay it on our heart. And we know, and I think we knew it was always a safe space for us there, but you kind of broke the door down and said, oh, it's truly going to be safe. You know, because you shared some stuff that was very vulnerable at that particular camp. You know, not that you hadn't before, but it's just the one that comes to memory. And to me, that was a game changer in the group. You know, that, yes, it's always been fun and there's always been laughter and there's always been love there, but it got even deeper and more intimate.
Right.
You know, as we've continued down that. And it is kind of funny that, you know, Grant kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit earlier that, we do record these earlier in the week. And so it's not quite 2025. You're right, Grant. That doesn't happen till tomorrow night at midnight. So we're recording this on Monday night this week. And
it's actually it's New Year's Adam, because Adam comes before Eve.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So a New Year's Eve.
I did not see you reading the script.
Yeah. And so, but I don't remember where I was going with that. But, you did kind of let the cat out of the bag on that, which is fine, because we really don't know what the week's going to unfold. Honestly, because we're recording talking about something that hasn't necessarily happened yet. And so, it is kind of different for us. And I completely lost my train of thought. So we'll just continue to move on.
Well, this relates back to your train of thought. Favorite memory from Boot?
Oh, yeah.
There's a man that was, in the past, he's with Christ, but he lost faith and wanted to get back. And I talked to him, and we talked for evening.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bobby was out baptizing in the lake. And this man came running up to the lake and dives in, baptized me.
Wow. Yeah. That's awesome.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. And I was, just reflecting on the idea of, what could happen this week before New Year's. It's the challenges that are unbelievable. But anyway.
Yeah. We'll go to masculinejourney.org to find out any information of what we have coming up. We don't have anything posted quite yet. We're still working out the details of our spring boot camp. We do have one coming up, so we promise we will have one. We're just trying to nail down all the details on it, and we'll get back to you as soon as we know. We'll share it on here. But what you can do is you can reach out to us via email at masculinejourney.org. It would be Robbie at masculinejourney.org, Danny, so forth.
Sam.
It could be Sam. You could talk about topic choices, prayer requests, anything like that. Reach out to us. Let us love on you. We love you. We'll talk to you next week.
This is the Truth Network.